wasn't it? All right, guys. Now that I've talked to you for 20 minutes without unmuting my mic, now we can start. So I was saying that I had submitted Dimitri to some Elton John there a little bit. So Dimitri, hope you enjoyed that. Elton is my all-time favorite singer, entertainer of all time. And I was telling you the stories before I unmuted myself about me winning tickets to go see him, but I won't bore you by going through that again. But thanks for joining us tonight. Good to have you guys with us. And if someone will monitor the Discord room, just to make sure I don't miss any questions in there. Oh, JetFan doesn't know where to find it. Okay, let me make sure that we paste it there so JetFan can get in. Always, as we start our classes, I post the Zoom link into the little channel on the left of Discord where it actually says, where did my camera go at? Actually says daily Zoom link. So let's see if JetFan can get in now. We'll get everybody in and taken care of. Great. Let me make sure I got the chat pulled up. There's so much stuff going on, y'all. It's hard to keep up with, but I'm doing my best. All right, who's ready to draw some lines? So I sent you guys a little message earlier today saying it would be helpful if you would go ahead and create a free account with TradingView so that you could have that available, and also to make sure that you had an account set up with Thinkorswim, which is also free. You don't have to trade with them to use it. Kind of like the way that I do with Tastyworks. I like using the Tastyworks platform for various things, though I don't actively trade any accounts with them. Okay, and if I can find my chat one more time, so I don't miss any messages from you guys, and then I'll quit clicking around. Where is that? Where is it? Hold on a second. Trying to learn all this technology. Here we go. Chat. There we go. Okay. All right. So let's get started. You go to your Thinkorswim platform, and I have set up just a regular old clean chart, okay, with bars on there. So this is a daily. Now here's what you want to do. We're going to first draw our lines for the month. Now, you can actually do this every day. So if you're day trading or you're doing a short-term trade, you can certainly set this up. But what I find most helpful is to set this up on a monthly basis. And you do that by go under charts in your Thinkorswim tab, okay? And you want to go to this place here where it says D. You see the D there. There we go. All right, James, are you in? There you go. All right, great. Hold on a minute. He's connecting. Make sure we get everyone in. All right. So you want to change this to daily, but you don't want it to be daily year. You want this to be 1 day, 3 months. 1 day, 3 months. Don't ask me why, but if you simply do this as a day and year, 1 day, 1 year, it's not going to give you the same results that you're going to get with me. So the time frame is very important. So just go here. It's one of my favorites, 3 months, 1 day. So each bar represents a day, and then it goes back, the chart does, for 3 months. How do you set that? You can go to time frame, click on daily. Time interval is 3 months. So make sure you select 3 months. Your aggregation period is day. Okay, and hit OK. And you'll have that set up. All right, any questions so far? Type it into our little Zoom chat, and I'll make sure that I get to it. Don't want to leave anyone behind tonight. My wife has said we've got about an hour together tonight. So before I go and eat some scrumptious chicken dish that she's got cooking in there. So that should be awesome. All right. Now that we've got this to the daily, we're going to go down to the bottom to where you see the drawing tools. Okay, right now I've just got it on the cursor, but you want to go down to the drawing tools, and you're going to choose one that is basically the percentage sign that says Fibonacci Retracements. Okay, Fib Retracements, and you choose that. Now, once you choose the Fib Retracements and you draw the fib, like I'm about to do, draw there from one point to the next point, you're going to notice that yours is much different than mine. Mine has, it has 150%, 120%, 180, 50, 20, 0, negative 20, negative 50, negative 80. So the first thing that you guys, hold on a minute, we got a message in, or something going on in, okay, making sure everybody's in the room, finding how to get to where we're at. So you want to do that. So go ahead and draw your fib, okay? So go to the Fibonacci there, go to Fibonacci Retracement, just set your cursor somewhere, click the left button, then go up to somewhere else, click the left button again of your mouse, and you will have something that looks like this, although your numbers will be much different than mine, because what you actually have are fib numbers. Now, if you are a regular user of the fibs, then you don't want to change this permanently. If, however, you say, Bobby, I'm willing to change it and to go and use it the way that you do it, then you can make this a permanent change on your platform. And what you're going to do is right-click on any one of these lines. So I get right to the line, I right-click, and you're going to hit Edit Properties. Everyone following so far? Edit Properties. And you will notice that we have Fibonacci curve properties here, and then we have a list of all of these different numbers. You need to delete the ones that you have, all right, whatever the fib numbers are, and I wish I could recite them for you to tell you what you actually have, but they're not there. I want you to change those, one to a -1, one to a -0.8, and the color doesn't matter. I set these colors up because I thought it was a nice little color, but I always change them. But it doesn't matter what the color is, but I want you to have something that says -1, -8, -0.5, -0.2, 0, 0.2, 0.5, 0.8, 1, 1.2, 1.5, 1.8, and 2. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to take a snippet of this, and I'm going to post this into our Discord channel so that if you need to look back at this at some later time, you will know the values that you need to set those up, okay? Then what you will do, once you make these changes, once you type in -1, 0.08, and all of this, you will simply click on Save as Default, okay? Because you want to save that as the default numbers that this thing brings up for you. So I've told you all of the ones that you need to change your lines to. I'm copying this, and I am posting it in our Discord room so that you have access to that. Let me do that now. And Rick is coming in. Hey Rick, as he gets here, I've pasted that into Discord so that everyone has that. You can download it to your computer, or you can even use the snipping tool and snip it from my screen. But I'm going to give you guys a couple of seconds to go in there, see if you have any questions on making these changes. So what you're doing, you're deleting or removing the curves that are currently in there, and you're replacing those with -1 all the way up to 2, okay? And all these numbers are that I'm giving you, they're not magic fib numbers. All these are to help us identify areas where price is oversold, or price is in a fair value, or price is overbought. Questions at all? Anyone got a question thus far? Then put it in our Zoom chat, and I'll be glad to answer that for you. Okay. All right, no questions so far. Someone type something in the chat just to say, hey, it's working. I'd like to see that. That would be helpful. Let me type it over there. Hey, okay, good. Matt Jolly says, hey, and I'll type back to y'all, hey, y'all. Okay, just making sure that that feature works and everyone knows how to chat and to put that in. All right, so if you need to reference this, I'm about to close it. Don't worry. Go into our Discord channel, pull it up. Now, it's going to take a while for you guys to grasp this. It took me a long time for me to grasp this. What is the origin of this? I wish I could tell you that anything that I show you is proprietary to me. The only thing I have ever shown you that is proprietary to me is my spreadsheet. I started that as an act of love 8 years ago, and it is the only thing that is actually Bobby's. This was a concept that I learned from a gentleman by the name of Blake Young. And Blake came to be an instructor at TheoTrade. I highly recommend TheoTrade. It's very, very good at learning different concepts. The only thing that they don't do is actually trade alongside with you most of the time, unless you're in the futures room, and that's $199 a month. It's good stuff, but I'll teach you how to do this over time as well. So am I stealing Blake's stuff? Yes, I'm stealing his stuff, but I'm giving Blake full credit. He talks about how he came up with this, and I have no idea because it's the goofiest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I've used this for several months, and it's amazing how accurate this thing is. It's amazing how oftentimes you'll see price interact at these different lines that we're about to draw. And it's the spookiest thing ever. I call it voodoo. I'd always say that Blake was, he was a voodoo doctor or something. I have no idea the deal that he struck with the devil, with his soul, to get this particular thing. But take it from me, it is an amazing, amazing way of identifying different levels of where things are overbought or things are oversold. Okay, so you make these changes. Make sure all of those are in there. And then what I do normally is I'll change I like to see the 50% lines, which are represented by negative 50, plus 50, and then 1.5. I make those to actually be little dash lines. I like seeing those as dash lines. Everything else I make as a solid line. Change the colors as you like. Do whatever you want, okay? And then save it as default. Took me a while to figure out that you got to save it as default. If you don't save it as default, the next time you open up the Fib tool, you're going to have to redo this all over again. And trust me, it is a pain in the butt. So I've given you several minutes to do it. I've posted the graphic into our Discord room, so you should be ready to go. So now that we've done that, now that you've got your chart on a daily, 1 day, 3 month time frame, now it's time for us to go in and actually do the magic. And here we go. All right. We're going to delete this one because the first thing you need to do is to change the style of your drawing. So right now, you'll notice we've got the candles. You're going to go and you're going to change the style. You're going to go down to chart mode, and yours will, by default, be at standard, and you're going to change that to monkey bars. Tell your spouse, tell your significant loved one that you are going to be working on monkey bars tonight. They will be very, very impressed. A lot of people will say, hey, what is monkey bars? What is this garbage? How does it work? Okay, so style, again, chart mode, go down to monkey bars. Now, while I'm saying this, I'm going to also show you something else to do. Do this chart settings button. You'll want to click on chart settings, and we're looking at snap is the actual underline that we're looking at. So it's an equity. You're going to click under equities, and when it says show extended hours trading session, make sure that that is not checked for equities, okay? You do not want to show extended hours trading. Now, under the Futures tab, under Chart Settings, where it says Show Extended Hours Trading Sessions, you do want that to be checked, okay? We want to show the activity that happens on futures overnight, because futures are theoretically traded, 6 days a week, almost 24 hours a day. So we want to see that activity in these monkey bars, but we don't want to see it in equities that are really not traded in the overnight hours. So take that out, okay? It's so thin, even if it is. For some of those that are 24 hours, you don't want that to be a part of the chart, okay?
Where's the chart settings again? I'm sorry.
Yep. See right here at the top, the little wheel. The very top of your chart. Chart settings. And then you've got a lot of different tabs at the top. First, go to equities and make sure that it's taken off as far as extended hours. And then under futures, make sure that it is checked. So once you've done that, what I do is I save this as a grid and make sure that everything's saved. So when you save a grid, I'm saving this one. I've named this clean chart. It's just a clean chart. I don't have any technical studies on there. It's a chart and nothing else. Okay? Good question. All right, I hadn't lost anybody. Nobody's scared. Everybody's still with me. All right, great. Uh-oh, Chris Klein's going to have to catch the video later. Okay, Chris. No problem, buddy. Have a good night. I understand it's, the week before New Year's and after Christmas. It's kind of a difficult time anyway. All right, so what are monkey bars, guys? Okay. Anybody familiar with monkey bars at all? What we're basically looking at here is volume, not volume profile, but a market profile. This is the amount of time spent at price. So where volume profile is the number of shares that have traded at X price, market profile, as shown with the monkey bars, is the amount of time that was spent at a particular time. Now, for all effects and purposes, we will ignore the left side of each one of these, and we're looking only at the right side. Left side, this is volume profile. This is the amount of volume that was traded at price. And the right side is market profile, which is the amount of time that was spent at price. So as you can see here, during this month, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days, basically, of that entire month, more than any other time was spent at this price of about $52. Okay? But the most volume of shares was traded at this price at about 52.67. So they're close, right? Volume and time are almost together, but they're not quite the same. We are going to defer to the right side. Now, as you see that I've got my little cursor here, this is for the month of December. How do I know that? Look up to the left. I'm going to show you where to look, but it'll change when I get up here. Here. It shows you what month is there. So right now I'm in the October month. See that? If I move here, that now goes to November. If I go here, it goes to December. Okay, I want to make sure. This is the price movement and profile for the month of December. This is price movement for the month of November. We use price for November to project price, oversold, overbought, and fair zones for December. Now, we are about to be at the end of this year, and this chart that I'm drawing today will change, and we will delete it forever. and we will do this again next month. So at the end of December, we will draw this monthly chart from the December month and project price onto January. But for tonight, we're going to go and use this information in November to project what should have happened in December. And you do that very simply. You go here to your drawing set, you change it to Fibonacci Retracement, and quite simply, you draw it from the bottom. Now, at this point, I'm just winging it. I'm just eyeballing it. I'm going to get it at the bottom, kind of at the middle of that 7. Okay, and I'm going to hit the left mouse button. Then I'm going to move it all the way up to the top, which is about the middle of that 6. Do you see that? So I'm just eyeballing it, and I'm going to click again. Shabam, shabam. So we've got this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little chart here, little drawing, but we now need to make sure that we've got it exactly positioned where it needs to be for the month of November. How do you do that? You right click as we did before. You're going to click on Edit Properties, and now here is where we're going to make the adjustments. We're going to go from a beginning point to the end point. And the beginning point will be that lower point that we drew down here. Well, how do you know what exactly that is? When you have your cursor on November, you see me drawing it there, look up here. It'll tell you what the open, what the high, what the low, what the close, and what the range was, okay? So we're looking for the high and the low for November. Now watch this. If I move this cursor over here to October, those numbers are now wrong for November. Now it's showing the high of 44.18 for October. And it's showing the low of 26.13 here for October. You gotta move your cursor and make sure you're in the November month. So the low for November, you see there, is 37.35. I almost got it right. So I'll put 37.35. And the high, again, my cursor somewhere within the November, the high for that month, price got up to 47.27. So,
I think it's 37.53.
oh, is it, okay, my dyslexia is kicking in. Or wait a minute, maybe your dyslexia is kicking in. It says 37.35 for me. What am I missing? 37.35. Did I do it right? Everyone agree? 37.35? And the high is 47.
You're talking about the open?
Not the open. We're looking at the low. So
The low,
30,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so the beginning point is going to be the low, but good question, okay? Very good question. The low is 37.35, and the high, where I drew it here, is going to be that 47.27. And I like to get those exactly right. All right, any questions on that at all? Very good, though. Matt, was that you that asked that question?
Yes.
Very good, very good. All right, so now that I've got it, I'm going to click OK. I've got it centered on this thing. Now, here's what I now look for. A lot of times on the monthly, guys, you will notice that the 50% line will run right through the green, okay? Right through it. But it doesn't. So you and I are now going to have to make another adjustment. Now let's talk for a minute. Isn't it interesting that the volume for the month of November and the time spent at price were most at the exact same point? That's not unusual to see. Look at December, however. December, this is a little bit higher. Volume profile, where volume was traded, is just a itty bit higher than where the actual time was spent at price. Isn't that cool? All right. So we've got to make another adjustment. So now we go back to our favorite person, our favorite Fibonacci dude from years past, the mathematician extraordinaire, and we're going to pull up another tool. This time we're going to pull up something called a Fibonacci Extension. Does everyone see that? Slightly different. Fibonacci Extension. And you find that again here under Drawing Tools right here. Click on that, and you'll see this little Fibonacci Extension. And it brings the pencil up. Now, you got to change some things in this one as well. Let's see if we can find that. But first I'm going to show you how to draw it, and then I'm going to show you how to change your numbers in the Fibonacci Extension. Guys, I know what you're thinking. This is the craziest garbage that you've ever seen in your life, and it works. Don't give up on it, okay? I don't want anyone to give up. Just hang with me a little bit. Try to trust this just a little bit, even though it seems like hokey pokey, okay? So what you do now is you draw your line from the 50% line. Everyone sees that. Now this one doesn't have 2 points, but 3 points. So I'm going to put it right there on that little line. Boom. Okay, so left click. Then you're going to draw down to the center of the green line, anywhere. I could draw to the center here, I could draw the center here, I could draw the center there, but you want to be somewhere near the center of the green line, and you're going to left click again, shaboom, and then it brings up this little weird thing. The final point that you want to bring that down to is anywhere on the 100% line. See the purple line there? So we're going to make our final point on the 100% line. And you can see when it kind of lines up there. We're not being exact here. We're just getting really close. And boom. So it's a 3 point. You draw first, left click on the 50% line. Then you're going to draw to the middle of the green line. And your third left click will be to the 100% line as such. Now, let me right click on it and show you the variables you need to change this particular tool to. Because if you just drew that with me using your Fibonacci extension, then it is given all different levels. You're not seeing a negative 100, you're not seeing a 200, you're not seeing a 400. So let me right click on that little puppy. Let's click on edit. And here's what I want you to put in there. You're going to change that. You're going to remove the current values that are in there according to Mr. Fibonacci. And you're going to replace it with a -1, a -0.5, 0, 0.5, 1, 2, and 4. And you'll probably say, Bobby, why? I wish I could explain all that. I have no idea. Other than to say, I'm going to make a copy of this, and we're going to add it into our Discord channel. And please, once you do this, please do this, save as default. And if you are a Fibonacci master, if you're going to go back and just be, hey, Mr. Fibonacci, then you can always restore it to factory default. But until then, until you're buying into this overbought, oversold drawing, I want you to save this as your default, okay? Let me post that before I forget it into Discord so that you'll know exactly where to go and find it after our class is over tonight. And I will upload that. All right. Nobody's lost so far. Dimitri's with me. Matt Jolly's with me. Rick is with me. All right. I'm hoping everybody else will just watch the class at some later time and not think that we're a bunch of complete idiots. So, I've drawn that now, okay? So, all of a sudden, we're looking really cluttered here. What are we doing? All we're really doing is projecting this length from the 50% line to this. We're doubling that distance, the distance between here, and we're basically moving our chart twice that distance. And this next part is the part that took me an ungodly amount of time to understand, and I'm going to try my best to help you understand. Once you've drawn from the 50, okay, to here, to the 100, all we're doing is now we're going to take this amount, double it. That's the 200 line there. That's taking that distance, doubling it. So here's what I want to do. I want to delete this drawing. I want to do it one more time. Okay, first of all, this is our first drawing. Let's do the second drawing again. Remember, start at the 50% line. Draw to the somewhere in the middle of this green line. And by middle, I don't mean this middle. I mean the vertical middle. So you're not drawing here. You know, you want to be somewhere in the middle, like the middle vertically, not horizontally. So I get to the very center of that line. Boom, that's my second. And then remember, my third line is to draw down to the 100, the purple line. Boom, got it right on it. Now, here's where it gets funky. Here's where I told you it's going to be difficult, but I want to explain to you what we're about to do. We are now going to activate this drawing, and all we're doing is we're going to move the 100 line down to this 200 line. So we're taking the entire chart, moving this 100 purple line down to the 200 line. How do you do that? You got to right click anywhere on this particular drawing. Okay, so I could right click here, I could right click here. So I right click and I click on activate. Now, when I click on activate, it turns it nice and blue. And you see when I get to either of those lines that it changes to a little thing that says, hey, I can move it. So what we're doing is moving the 100 line right here down to the 200 line. Sounds goofy. I know it. It did to me. I thought this guy was crazy. So I'm going to left click and hold down with my cursor. Hold down with my mouse. Hold the left down. Now watch what we're doing. We're just going to drop this. Boom, ticky boom, ticky boom, ticky boom, until we get level with that 200 line. It doesn't matter if you draw it over here. It doesn't matter if you draw it over here. I'm just going to draw it in here and get that 100 line pretty much centered there. Boom. And I let loose. Now, check it out. The devil is still blue. It's still activated, okay? So be careful. Let off your left mouse button. And now I want you to go and grab the 0%. See it here? Don't grab it here. Don't grab it here. You got to grab this little thing here, the 0. Now this is going to be funky, but you see there's actually a, do you see this kind of checkered little line there? You see that there? It's blue. What you're going to now do is drag this so that this 0 line is right here at the top of your little red line of that little, see the red line that was our first click on that extension? Remember, we clicked here, then we clicked to the middle, then we clicked down to the 100. You're going to get the 0 line lined up right at the top of that little red line. Okay? So I'm going to left click right here. Now watch what this does. This is kind of cool. Oh, we're collapsing down. We're collapsing down until that 0 line is touching the top of that first little place where we got it. Shaboom. Does everyone see that? Let off the left click button and hit the escape key. Uh-oh, Drew's in. Drew's coming in. All right? Now, what I just showed you, hey Drew, good to have you here, buddy. And Drew, we're recording this, so you go through everything that we just went through, so you won't lose anything. That's the hardest part of the whole thing, okay? But you can do it. I'm here for you. I will walk you through this thousands and thousands of times. I mean, we'll do it. You can watch this video thousands of times. I swear, what seems impossible now will be very simple in a little bit. Now, What we've got to do now is we've got to get rid of our Fibonacci extension. This little thing that we drew here to here to here. Y'all remember that? And it's this little blue line here. I've got to click somewhere that it's not over touching my other graph. And I'll click here. The 400 line's not clicking anywhere, but you want to remove this extension. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to remove that drawing. So now we are left with this beautiful, 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 nicely positioned little graph that's ready to project for the following month. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, the last thing that I do is I'll right click, edit on it, and I like to change it green for my monthly charts. And I'll call this November for December. In other words, what I've done is I've used the November numbers to project December price. And we will hit OK, but first I like to select color for all curves, and I'll change that to green. And when we do that, now change your style back from monkey bars and change that back to standard. And we have a wonderful, wonderful little chart here, and we can make it bigger, smaller. Hold on, let me grab that so we can pull her down a little bit. Oh, check it out. A daily chart, and we've got these wonderful levels where fair price exists, oversold, overbought conditions, fair price, oversold, overbought. But we have a very huge problem. What's the problem? Our price of Snap has dang well just jumped the ship, hasn't it? It has jumped above our wonderful graph. How can that happen? Well, it happens often, okay? But it's no problem for us because all we're going to do is we're going to duplicate our drawing. Check this out. So I'm going to right click anywhere on our drawing. Okay, it can be on either one of the lines, so I'll just right click at the top and I'm going to click duplicate. And very nicely, it now has an activated second drawing. So what do we do? Well, I'm basically just going to drag this puppy up and make another one. So watch this. It's kind of cool. You just kind of drag up, drag up, drag up. Let's see if it'll let me without me doing it here. Let's see. Okay, I can do that enough. All you want to do basically is move it here and align the 50% lines with each other. So I can move that to where the dash 50 line hits there, but I want to even do it further. What if it bounces past this one? So move it up a little further. Move it to where the 50 line is now lined up with that one per se. See that? So that those dashed lines are on top of each other. And it's going to force me to do this so that I can fit them all on the... Now let's try this. See if we don't run out of screen. Isn't that beautiful? We'll just put that 200 line up there to the top. And it's going to make me do it a little bit longer. Hold on. I'm not giving up. It's saying basically if we get above that screen, now here we go. Yeah. Get it right there. Then hit the escape key and you have now moved or doubled that to a point that everything looks pretty much equal distance. We're ready to go. So now what you and I are able to do are to use this chart to identify areas where price is oversold or overbought or a fair price. Now check this out. Anything, remember I had the 50 lines made into a dash, okay? So everyone sees the fair, and the fair price is actually from, let me get a drawing tool where we can get this going. Yeah, here we go. So fair price is between this area and this area, or fair price, if it jumps up here, is between this area and this area. Or if price were to even go farther up, it's between this 80 line and the 20 line. Or if it were to drop down here, here's another fair price area. Here's another. And finally, we've got one down here. All of these are what we would call a fair price range for price based on what we did drawing this in November and projecting price out to December. Well, where is price currently? Price is currently teetering within the fair price range. Now keep in mind, it's kind of neat to see it that you're actually seeing the price, you know, basically bump it. What does it do? It goes down, it bumps this line. What does it do? It goes up, you know, very well likely may bump this line again. But price is within this little channel that gives us the fair price range. Everyone see that? Now here's the cool part, okay? Here's the neat part. Let me delete that. Within this chart, we actually have oversold and overbought conditions. Let me kind of spread this out where I can draw a little bigger, okay? And let's bring this down. So again, from here to here is the fair price range that we're currently dealing with, right? Now I'm going to draw the overbought and oversold areas for you on the chart. So let's do that. So this is fair value. If price goes within this 120 and 100, then price is overbought. Okay? So we're fair price here. If price dips within this area, it's overbought. And it is not uncommon to see price in an overbought condition to do what? To go back within fair value range. Okay? Now, let's draw oversold. Oversold is going to be between this level and here. So this is fair value range. And if we go within these two lines, then price is oversold. And isn't it interesting that we drew this in November for December? We ran out of lines even. But look how amazing it is that price did what? Tapped into overbought, behaved quite nicely, came into a fair value range. Then what did price do? It went into an oversold line, and check it. On that day, where did it stop? It dipped below it for a moment, but it stopped and found, it found support, didn't it? Price found support at an area that was oversold, and what did it do? Popped back up into the fair value range. Now, what if price continues to go down? If price had continued to go down, then it would have found another fair value range. Okay? Where then price now becomes oversold here, but overbought here. Okay? So, what if price had continued to go down? Well, then we have another value, don't we, of fair price. So we say fair price or fair value is in this range. And what do we have here? We have another period of oversold. What if it keeps going down? Same thing, guys. It's just more of the same thing. Well, when I move that, it kind of messes them all up, doesn't it? But it goes from oversold to this area of being overbought. Get down there, overbought. Okay? And then we'll watch this thing on a daily basis, and we kind of watch price interaction with these different levels. Okay? And it's an amazing thing to see as price moves between these levels. So let's go, and we've drawn it now. I've told you how to draw it. So let's kind of go and see if we can find something else maybe that we've already drawn on. What was the trade that we did the other day that we took off for 50%? Who was in this trade with me? It was Chris was in the trade, I believe. Chris is not here. He said he'd have to catch us later, right? So now make sure you're on the daily. We brought up Baba. Let's see what's happening with Baba on the chart that we drew. Okay, we see an area of fair price, right? We see an area of, this area is oversold. It went below fair price, became oversold. Then when it becomes to this level, it's kind of weird, but you got to go, dang it, it ain't oversold anymore. Now it's overbought for this range, for this fair price range. That's not a but, that's not a 3. It's supposed to be a whatever to show you where fair value is. All right, so what happened? Price dropped into this area, which is oversold. It finds some type of support there. Price does, and what does it do? It pops back in to the fair value range. So this is how we use this in making our decisions. But it's a combination of things. It's not only this particular chart that we draw, but it's a combination of other things. So let me erase all of those drawings. And let's look at the other thing that we pulled up. Remember, we're not only looking at market profile, this is market profile, but we actually pull up volume profile. And this is where I really, really love looking at this is, let's type in Baba here. Let's see what Baba's doing in the volume profile. Here we go. So volume profile, this is the point of control. This is the area. And I like this on a 30-minute, 10-day chart. 30-minute, 10-day chart on volume profile. So what do we see with the price of Baba? And why did we make the decision that we made the other day that brought us to a 50% winner? What we saw was this humongous price drop. And we saw price go from fair value range. Hope everyone sees that. You recognize the 50% line. You realize that if we were to shrink this a bit, you would see that the entire range of that, there's the but I draw, right? That's the range of fair price. So here we are. Baba, based from November to December, is behaving. It is staying within. And all of a sudden, I see that this little puppy drops to an area of being oversold. And now if price had gone down here, which it did, it would become overbought for the range below. Let's show you that so you don't forget. Bingo. You have another fair value range here, remember? Let's see if I can squeak back into my little oversolds and overbought. There we go. And so you and I, at about this point, when we saw that price was oversold, we sold a put spread, believing that price on Baba was oversold and would at least dip back to the point of control on volume profile and more likely head up and potentially move back to this area of 250, which was the fair value range, the center of fair value range where that price was. And that's how we made the decision. And we made that decision based on, well, implied volatility was the highest on the board. You remember when we pulled Baba up, we drew this thing, we went through it, and we made sure that we put in the decision to say, hey, we're going to fade that. We're going to be contrarians, put in a put spread, hoping that volatility contracts and or this thing goes back up. Y'all, isn't that a thing of beauty? questions at all, feel free to unmute yourself. If you've got any question whatsoever, I want to make sure I answer any questions that you have. Make sure if I can see the chat. Has anyone chatted anything? I see one in the chat. Let's see. How will we use these lines to place our trade? And again, that's exactly what we did. You want to find areas where price is oversold, overbought, and a really good place to make this trade is here. Is when you see it in a 30-minute chart go above the 80% line. When you see it now heading back into this fair value range, there is a high likelihood that price, I don't want to do that, I don't know what I'm drawing it to, I've got on, but there's a high likelihood that we'll see price at some point. It may come back here and touch the 80% line, but there's also a very good probability to see price go back to that 50% line. Why does this work? I have no idea. Can we go back to Snap and put the volume profile on that chart? Yep, we can. So let's go back to Snap. Let's see what we got in Snap. Let me erase everything that we've got. Let's see what this little puppy looks like. Okay, so here we go. Here's our friend Snap. Remember, if we look at volume profile, what would we think? Okay, it's at the bottom of volume profile. We would anticipate a move back to the volume profile point of control, which is what? It's the red line. But again, remember, that's the number of volume that was traded at that particular price, correct? Check this out.
So volume profile is a study?
Volume profile, yes, is a study that you can put on. Well, I say that. Let me say, it's been so long. I've had volume profile as one of my grids saved for so long. Let's see where we're finding volume profile. Let's make sure. Has everybody been able to pull up volume profile? Let's see what I've got here. Yeah, look at this. Volume profile, automatic, one chart, one yes, blah, 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 blah. But the easiest thing for me to do is to share this with you. Hold on a second. Share this grid so that you have it, okay? So I will share that. So let me go into Discord and let me just paste it there. And all you've got to do is then open this in your, all right, there it is. All right, I just posted that in Discord. And I want to make sure, does everybody know how to open a study in Thinkorswim? Just want to make sure you know how to do that. Let me show you that really quick. Like, I don't want to take anything to assume that you guys know anything and, you know, just shy to ask the question. But what you do is you go to setup, I believe, on your monitor screen. You know, back, you've got this chart, tools, education, help. You want to go to the very top and click on setup and then open shared item. You will Control V after you copy that I've just pasted in Discord, and then hit the preview button and then import. And it will click that open shared items after I press import, and it'll open that for you. Okay. But guys, do you see how this, now check this out. This is, I did not go and pick out Snap earlier because I knew the 50% line was going to line up exactly with the point of control for volume profile. But do you see something gorgeous here? Look at this. The 50% on market profile lines up exactly with volume profile. Price is here. Where do we expect price to go? Well, it could drop, couldn't it? It could do this. It could go into an area where it's oversold. But if I had to make a play on Snap, what would I do? Someone chirp in. Drew, Matt, Dimitri, someone drop in. What trade would you put on? Because this does us no good, guys, if we can't make a trade out of it. What trade would you do?
You mentioned a iron condor for me the other day on this. You did a strangle on it.
Yep, I did a strangle on it, didn't I?
I think you did a 48 and a 53 strangle.
Mm-hmm. Now, keep in mind, Matt, too, that, I mean, it can change from the time that you and I did it the other day, right? So it probably looked different than what we're looking at now. But let's see what we did. Hold on, let me pull that up. Snap. Snap, 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 snap. I'm up 21%. I'm up 21 bucks on that trade. How are you doing on it?
I went ahead and closed it out because it was a 52, 52, 50, 52 iron condor.
But it was profitable. Was that one profitable for you? Or is that the one that you sent
No,
me that had the little, okay, it had the small range, didn't it?
yes, it had but it only had, I think, a $8 loss, and I closed it for a $4 loss.
Gotcha, gotcha. So what trade do you see now? What are you potentially seeing in this? Here's what I'm seeing, guys. If I had to make a trade on Snap, I would probably sell a put or a put spread. Why? Because I anticipate that price is within the fair value range. I anticipate price to go here to here and quite possibly to here. I think it has a greater chance of doing so than going this way. Now, there's no guarantee. I mean, we'll watch it over the next couple of days and it'd be interesting to see what it does. But if I needed a trade and I needed positive deltas in my account, then I would very likely sell a put in Snap, expecting price to go here and here before it would actually go here. What else did we pull up? Does anyone remember what else we pulled up? What else do we look at? We look at, if I can find it now, we look at this, don't we? We look at Trading View, and we've got a linear regression channel. And let's pull up Snap. Snap, 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 snap. Yep. So we pull up Snap. All right. What is the linear regression channel 100 period showing us in Snap? Check this out, guys. We are in an uptrend. All right. Price has gone from the top of the linear regression channel to the bottom, to the top, back down, back toward the center, back toward the top, back toward the bottom, back toward the center. Am I bullish or am I bearish on Snap? Well, I'd say for the foreseeable future, we're in this uptrend, right? We're in this up channel. We're seeing price oscillate between the channel, going up, going down. It's pretty much centered. I mean, I could even see, as you and I did the other day, an iron condor. I could see a short put. I could see a short put spread. But we anticipate that this little puppy will continue within this channel until it behaves otherwise. But right now, we've got a very, very beautiful little ascending linear regression channel on Snap. And this is what you do on a daily basis to make your trading decisions. Okay? You're just going to go through this. You're going to do the same thing over and over and over. All right, Dimitri, you want to see the macros done? Okay, let's do that. Let's do the macros. Let me go through my clean chart. And we'll do that. So we'll go MES. I don't think I've drawn it on the macros. Yeah, I did. We'll take this out. I don't know when I did it. All right. Here's the macros. Make sure we've got the... Now see, this is incorrect. This is a very good time to make sure you're not on 1 year, 1 day. Remember, that's going to throw off our results. You want the 3 month, 1 day. It's going to look slightly different for us. There we go. So we pulled up the daily chart. We've made sure that futures overnight information is included. We've talked about that. Now we go to style. We go to chart mode. We go to monkey bars. Okay. You can zoom in if you'd like on your monkey bars. Get as close as you like. This is December. This is November. Look at that wide range for November. But let's use it for a projection for December. Now, you'll be able to, can you take a screenshot of your study settings? Absolutely. In which, Matt, in which one? In the volume profile? Is that what you want a copy of? Probably, because I don't think I have anything in this one. Yeah, there's no studies here. Yeah, let me make sure I do that before I go back. Now, I'm going to do this one fairly quickly, okay? Because Beth has my chicken downstairs and her and the kiddos. But you can go back and watch this video a million times. So I go down here. We're going to choose the Fib Retracements. I'm going to draw from the bottom to the top. Now, I want to make sure that I get that high of 3668 as I'm clicking on November and the low of 3243.25. Everyone sees that up here, high and low. Make sure you see it, high, low. But it changes depending on which month I put it in. So you want the ones for November. So I right click on this. I'm going to edit my properties. The beginning number is your low, 3243.25. 3243.25. The high is 3668.75. 3668.75. Hit OK. Now, we're going to draw this one a little different, aren't we? We're going to, remember last time we had to draw the 50 down to the green line. Now this time we got to go up. So we come to our Fibonacci Extension. Remember, we begin at the 50% line, shaboom. We draw to the center of the green line, boom. Now, remember last time we had to go down to the 100% line. This time we go up to the 0 line, which basically is the 100% line. It doesn't matter, they're inverse of each other. And we draw it there, okay? I'm going to squeeze this down so we can see the 200. Now, this time, rather than taking the 100 down to the 200, we're going to take the 0 up to the 200. How do we do that? We right click, we activate. We're going to bring the 0 line up to the 200. Boom. Get it right there. Then we're going to go down and get the 100 and make sure that this line, this little blue line, hits the little red line there where we first started. So we've got to grab this little jewel and put it right to where it touches. See it touching the red line there? We hit the escape button. Now we delete the extension. We don't need it anymore. It served its purpose. And we go into this one, edit. I name this November for December. I set the color. I always set my monthlies as green. Okay, uh-oh. Then I'm going to change my style back to standard. Guess what? Price is within what? The fair value range. I always like to now pull that up on volume profile and see how the micro ES looks. So if we're doing a little bit of forecasting, what do we see? We see that price, let me get this down where you see. Here's the fair value range, guys. From here, remember there's the center of the fair value range, all the way down to here. So all through this, the micro ES has been behaving. It is within its fair value range, with this being the center of fair value. Let's now kind of grab that back up. What do I anticipate? Well, my anticipation, and again, I know nothing. I do not know jack shot. Nobody that I know knows jack shot, in case my kids are downstairs listening. But price can do anything. It can go way up here. It can do all it wants. But if I had to guess, I would think that price is going to come back down to this point of control where it has traded much volume. And there's a good chance that price may revert here down to the 1 standard deviation below, and probably a good chance that we'll touch that at some point. Do I know that for sure? No. Do you need negative deltas in your account? Maybe. So maybe you sell a call spread, or maybe you sell a naked call up here, expecting a reversion down here. Now, let's check. Let's see if we can pull up the E-minis. I always have so much trouble pulling up. Let me change this, get all my drawings off. Let's see if I can pull up the E-minis or the macros in trading view. I always have so much trouble pulling up the futures in that. Let's see if I can. I know I can do it on my phone easy, but for some reason on the darn desktop I have so much trouble. Let's see. Hit the enter. Is it this one? Hit the enter. Is it this one? For the love of God. Is it this one? Jeez. It had to be this, didn't it? We don't want to pull up Mitsubishi or any of those futures. Let's see. Not sure. Are any of you guys having this problem, same problem on the desktop? I can't get it on there on the desktop. I can go to, Matt's got it on his phone. I can go to that and pull it up very easily. Well, let's pull up something that would kind of mimic it, okay? Let's do, why don't we do SPY and see where SPY is, which is basically going to do, mirror basically the same thing. Let's see what SPY does. All right, SPY is in an upward channel. Okay, linear regression channel, 100 period. This is a daily chart. What's this? It goes up, goes down, goes to the center, goes down, goes to the center, hovers around center. Price is behaving quite nicely. You know, who knows? I mean, you look at this and you go, I'm not sure. We're kind of toward the center. We may go up, we may go down. You know, here you could say I could see an iron condor. Here I could see, on this particular chart, I could see a strangle. I could see, you know, a variety of different trades. But if we go back and we look at volume profile says you're probably going to come back in here at some point. You very well may come here, 33.61. Again, this is forecast. Again, this is you know, projection. I mean, we're using this. You saw how we used it in BABA. We closed that trade in 5 days for 50%. We use this exact same analysis. Now, do I always do this on the macros? No. A lot of times I'm in the macros, baby. I am selling a put. I am going to sell a put. I believe this thing is going to go up. I'm protected to the downside. I've got a VIX hedge. I've got 25 long puts in my Black Swan hedge. Baby, I am covered if it goes against me. But otherwise, you can use these types of analysis. Again, what are we using? Market profile, volume profile, and then we're using a linear regression channel on TradingView. And I've got to figure out how to get the futures to pull up on the desktop. I don't know why we'll do it on the phone app, but it won't do it on the desktop. All right. And Matt, you wanted a copy of this, I think, of everything that I have on here. And I think also when you open that, I shared volume profile, it should have all of this already added when you open that, but I will make a copy for that you nonetheless. I'm going to paste that in Discord for you to have as well. Okay. How many of y'all are going to quit the program now? All right, you got to leave now, man. All right, awesome. So I didn't run you off, right? You're not like, I'm out of here. I can't do this. This is garbage. I don't want anyone to be that. But listen to me. This is going to take a little bit of study on your side. Because here's what you don't want to do. I don't want you ever depending on me to draw this for you. Okay? It's fine in the short term. May take you a month, may take you two. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to be able to do this without me. Now, I have found this to be very, very helpful. Market profile with the monkey bars, the volume profile, and the linear regression channel. I think those three work very, very well together. Baby girl's very upset. Have to go put her down. I'll be here at least a month. Ha ha. Okay, great. So he's we had to run bad off. So, but I mean, you know, that's why I hate these alert services where people, you know, send alerts out to subscribers, and you go, I got an alert. Why? How? Why? God, well, I don't want you doing that. I want you to go, I don't want Bobby to create an alert for me saying, hey, I put this trade on, let's do it. And I'm posting my trades for you. And you're certainly able to ask and to evaluate. But what I want more than anything is if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, then you've got this video to go over hundreds and hundreds of times until you get it. Until you're able to use this tool to make your own decisions, okay? You don't need me. You need this. And I'll teach you how to do this. Take you by the hand, show you, but ultimately I want you doing this on your own. I don't want you to say, Bobby, draw the chart for this. I want you to draw it and say, hey, Bobby, would you draw it and compare it and see how it compares to what I drew? That's what I want you to do. And then I want you to get that confidence to where you're able to do this analysis so you can do this all by yourself. But guys, this is what we are going to use to make money. In the account that I'm showing here, what we're up, what did I say? 3.8% since the, November the 23rd? I mean, the account's doing very, very well. And we're negative delta. Oh my gosh, I've got negative deltas in the account and we're still making money. And you go, no, wait a minute, Bobby, over that same time period, you're pretty much mimicking the performance of the S&P 500. You're exactly right. The S&P 500, I'm 3.84% since November the 23rd. The S&P, I checked it today, it's 3.9%. Oh, we're underperforming the S&P. But wait till the S&P goes down. And you and I have negative delta, though be it a small. We are going to outperform the S&P 500. And if you looked at what I sent in the room today, we are at what? Was it about a 38 or 39% if you were to annualize the amount that we have done together since November the 23rd. So there's hope for you, and we're not a get-rich-quick scheme that we're going to go all in, we're going to double our money buying calls. It's not what this is. We're going to grow it slow and methodically, but make no doubt about it, we are going to grow. All right? Any questions whatsoever? Dimitri, Drew, you got anything? You're welcome to unmute yourself, and I'll take any question whatsoever. Going once, going twice. All right, guys, if not, have a wonderful rest of your night. I look forward to seeing you in the room tomorrow. We will be making more trades, and God bless you all. I appreciate you. Bobby, did I have a question?
Yeah. Can you explain? Can you please explain the micro strategy? You're using it every day to add more puts? Or
yes.
how do you trade the micro? So
yeah, if I need to have some premium sold, you know, according to the spreadsheet, if the spreadsheet says, hey, Bobby, you got to sell $300 worth of something today, and I do not have time to do this evaluation on an ETF or on a stock, then what I'll do is I'll get my premium from the E-minis or the micro E-minis, and I'll go in, and normally it's selling puts. And I do that with no hesitation. I have a downside hedge. But at the same time, I'm not going to sell enough to where I have huge amounts of positive deltas. Okay, Dimitri? So what I'm going to do is I'll sell them to a point, but if it gets to a point that I have too much positive deltas, then I may change that up. And I may start selling some calls, or I may start selling some strangles on the micros, and I may even, if I need negative deltas, I may sell a 15 delta put, but I'll sell a closer delta call, maybe a 20 or a 30 delta call. So I'm still getting premium that I'm selling, but I'm able to adjust my Greeks in a way that'll give me slightly a little bit of short premium. And keep in mind, if you're doing the VIX hedge that we went over the other day, that automatically is going to give you some negative deltas. Let's pull up, let's see where we're at now. Look at my delta. Oh my gosh, can I be any perfectly, I mean, I'm delta neutral, baby. Look at that. My delta is 0.71. I need a little bit of negative deltas, don't I? How do I do that? Well, I could see what stocks have gone up today, and you know, be a contrarian and maybe sell a call in that, or a call spread, or I could sell a call in the micro E-minis to give me just a little bit of short delta. But I'm perfectly happy where I'm at. I'm at 0.81. Doesn't get any better than that. Check it out. I've got almost 60 bucks of theta burned per day. I'm doing well. The count's up $257. Bob's your uncle. Great question. Anything else? All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this has been helpful for you. I really, really do. And I'll post this video later tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow. And let's go out and make some more money. Y'all have a blessed night.